Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Kennedy with Kennedy's Realty International, and today we're going to give a market update on the country estates. So a lot of our clients and a lot of our neighbors have been asking us what's going on with the market, how's the market doing, and everyone seems to feel that there's something a little different going on this summer. So we just wanted to go over a few of the statistics that we keep an eye on to help us understand how the market's doing. And we just wanted to share a bit of those details with you so you can understand how the market's doing for yourself and see what our opinions are and what we're thinking. So we keep track of three major statistics along with some others, but the three major ones that we keep track of are median home sales price, total sales turnover, and the month's inventory. So with month's inventory, before we jump into the numbers, I kind of want to give a brief overview of what month's inventory is. It's not one data point by itself, it's actually the combination of two very important data points. So on this graph you see here, we have two axes. One is inventory, so that's the number of homes that are on the market, the number of homes that are for sale in any given market, and also rate of sales, which is how quickly those homes are selling, usually based on the last month. So how many homes are selling per month or per year, whatever it is. So when we can take these two statistics and look at them together, we get a statistic known as month's inventory. And what that tells us is, at the current rate of sales, how many months would it take to sell off all of the current inventory? So you can't say that, oh, just because there's high inventory that it's a bad market or a good market, or just because there's a high rate of sales that it's a bad market or good market. You really need to look at both, because in combination they will dictate who has the power in any given market. Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? And so that's why we use this statistic. So as you can see here, if you have a low rate of sales, so homes are selling slowly, but you have a low inventory, you're still in a neutral market. And conversely, if there's a high rate of sales and a high inventory, it's still a neutral market. Where we really are interested in is these two areas here. And so when there's a high inventory and a low rate of sales, that means there's a lot of homes on the market, not very many buyers. That's what we call a buyer's market. They have a lot of selection and they have very, very little competition. Now, conversely, we also have a high rate of sales and a low inventory, and we call that a seller's market. So there's not many homes for sale, there's a lot of demand, there's a lot of buyers, and in that type of situation, the sellers have a lot more power. Now that we have an understanding of what month's inventory is, kind of how it's calculated, and what its importance is, let's look at a current graph of the country estates, starting in 2008 all the way through now, 2018. This dark blue line that's a 12-month average of the month inventory over time. The reason we do this is that the numbers can jump quickly and we want to see trends. We want to see how things are moving. So as you can see here, way over in 2008, there's a really high month inventory. So if you look here, you'll see 2008, 2009, there's about an 18-month to 20-month inventory. What that means is, at that point in time, at the rate of sales, it would take 20 months to sell off all the current inventory if no new inventory came on the market. Now you look down here, down in 2014, you'll see that there's a low of 6. That's 6 months. So it would only take 6 months to sell off all of the inventory at that current rate of sales, at that current inventory level. Now, where we are now, here in 2018, is you see this dark blue line, it's a 12-month average, it's hovering around 15. But that doesn't tell the whole story. This is a 12-month average. What you may not be able to see, but what is right here are the actual data points month to month. And here in February, we're at about 19 months. March, we're at about 22 months. And then April, we're down to 20 months. So the trend is obviously coming back up. The trend line's kind of lagging behind. But if you're looking directly at the data, we are at the same month's inventory level that we were in back in 2008. So now moving on, we're going to look at total sales volume. And this is just a representation of the total sales turnover in the community, the total sales. How much did the home sell for and how many of them sold? That's the total sales volume. So same as the last graph that we looked at. This starts in 2008, moves all the way to 2018. And this graph is probably most important right now in our community for us to be looking at and understanding, because really we are in a less advantageous position, or depending if you're trying to sell your home, a less advantageous position. If you're trying to buy a home, more advantageous position. But the current sales volumes is much lower than it was in 2008. 2008, we're selling at the worst point on average about 8 million a month. So it's closed sales selling about 8 million a month. Right now we're down to about 5. So that's a much lower value sales turnover than we had back in 2008. And much lower than the highs that we are showing in 2014, up above 18 million per month. So right now, what this is showing us is not necessarily that the homes that are selling for lower amounts, but really this is just a lower level of sales. There's just a much slower selling process. And when we move on next to median sales prices, we'll see that the home values actually have held up pretty well. So the last chart that we're going to look at is called the median sales price. And all this is measuring is what is the middle value of each home that is selling, month to month. We're not looking at an average because we don't want this number to be pulled in too many different directions, either by homes that are selling for a very large amount or a very low amount. We want to get the middle value. So what is the median home that's selling in our community? And as you can see, that median home sale values in our community have actually held up fairly well, given the downward pressure of the inventory, the low sales rate, and just the low sales turnover. So you can see back in 2008, 2009, we're at about 1.7 to 1.8 million, a median home sales price. Again, the middle home value. And down here in 2018, while we're off the highs of about 2.7 million in 2014, we've kind of remained steady in the 1.9 to 2.3 million dollar range, which is still a significant increase from 2008 and is still holding up pretty well. Now, what's important to remember is that median home sale price is a lagging statistic, meaning that this statistic is going to be driven by the results of the other statistics that we already looked at, meaning home inventory, months inventory, sales rates, and just general sales turnover. So those might be predictors or more current understandings of the state of the market. This is kind of going to give us a lagging indicator of how the market was doing. So while median home sales prices look like they're staying pretty normal, or maybe even there's a rising trend here, we're expecting median sales home prices to be lowering over time, or to be reducing over time, and especially given the downward pressure of the other statistics that we've been looking at. So I hope you all found this video helpful. We look forward to making more of these videos in the future. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, contact us directly, especially if you have any kind of questions regarding our community. If you want kind of more information about your home, you can always feel free to contact us. And if there's any other types of videos that you'd like to see us make in the future, again, please let us know. So again, my name is Daniel Kennedy with Kennedy's Realty International, and thank you for watching.